Welcome to my birth story. I've got like timestamps of like the main events, and then I'm just gonna kind of fill in the blanks. I've not got any structure to this. I'm literally just winging it. I did obviously a vlog of like pre-labor, early labor, full term. I had 3 sweeps. I had a sweep at, I think it was 40 plus 4, 41, and 41 plus 2, I want to say. Yeah. So I had 3 sweeps. I guess you can call them failed sweeps, but honestly, the second one I started losing like bits of my mucus plug, like tiny bits, but bits. And then the third one, I'm pretty sure I just carried on losing a little bit of my mucus plug again. Like there was nothing monumental that happened. I had on and off very mild cramps from 37 weeks all the way to 41 plus 6. But when I had a sweep at 40 plus 4, that's when I booked my induction. I booked my induction for 41 plus 4 because I thought if I go in at 41 plus 4, that gives me a day or so to get induced and also gives me a couple days like leeway because I didn't really want to go over 42. So I gave myself a couple days to like get things going because obviously inductions can fail, they can take forever, yada yada yada. Like I knew this might not have been a really straightforward thing. My first sweep, I was 1 centimetre and my cervix was 3 centimetres long. My second sweep, it was 2 centimetres long and it was like 1.5 centimetres. And then in my third sweep, I was 2 centimetres and it was only 1 centimetre long, I think. Or no, she didn't tell me how long it was on my third one. But then when I went in for my induction, it was only 1 centimetre long. So things were moving along before I had my induction. And also on the last sweep, so at 41 plus 2, my waters were bulging. So things weren't moving. They just weren't moving quick enough, obviously, to like start labour. Yeah, I went in for my induction on Wednesday. They rang me around 9:30, I think it was, or 10, 9:30, 10, saying to come in for 1:30. So I got a little bit of notice, not massively, but obviously I knew they were going to ring me that morning anyway to tell me whether they had a bed or not. I had a check because basically you need to have like a score of 7 to get your waters broken. I forgot what it's called, the Bishop score. Basically there's like things that like add up, like your cervix length, how dilated you are, all of that. And then they add it up to a score. You have to be at least a 7 for them to break your waters. And I was a 7 and I thought, thank God, because I didn't want to go through the hassle of like the pessary or the gel or, you know, all of the other induction methods. I just wanted my water broken because I wanted to go into labour like as naturally as possible. So I was in a room with 3 other women. They obviously do handover every 12 hours. So every day, like at 8 AM and 8 PM, I had my midwife. The same midwife was coming in the day. They still do your obs at like 5:30 in the morning. I thought, I've not even had my baby and you're already waking me up at like stupid hours of the night. So I feel like I'm a bit mixed matched everywhere, so I'm a bit messy. Went in at 1:30. Got checked, was a score of 7, all good. 2 centimetres, but she said like she could stretch. So we were still progressing bit by bit. We chilled. It got round to 8 PM. They said they had no beds. We got to 8 AM on Thursday, no beds. And then she was like, she said the next update she'll have will be at 3 PM. So 3 PM rolls around, no beds. Still no beds. But here we are. Around 2 to 3 PM, I start having feelings. I start having sensations. And they're coming like every 10, 15, 5 minutes. They're very sporadic, but they're like no longer than like 20 minutes apart. And I thought, these are different sensations. And turns out that was like the same sensations, obviously on a much milder scale, but they were the same sensations that I was getting then when I went into labour. So like I was going into labour myself. So if I left it one more day, who knows? I wouldn't have even had to have my waters broken. I would have just gone into labour. We were a bit disheartened. Me and my mum at that point, it was just me and my mum because my dad was like going home and looking after like my siblings. And also you can't have people over, you can only have one person overnight anyway. And we were just getting a bit down in the dumps because we'd been there like 30 hours and there was just no hope of getting out of there. I was like, I just want to be in the delivery suite. I don't care if I still have to wait another few hours to get my waters broken. I just want to get in that suite. And then at 7 p.m-ish, we order a KFC. Now, I mean, literally, as soon as my mum walks in with this KFC, she literally sits down. We start opening the bags. 2 midwives walk around. Well, a midwife and a student walk around. We're taking you to the delivery suite at like, I think, around 6:30. Not 7, 6:30. I think it was a bit earlier than I thought. But it must have been around 6:30, 6:30. So, all exciting stuff. We thought, finally, because when I was in the room, like the 2 women opposite me they had ended up having C-sections. Then the woman next to me, she was also waiting for the exact same situation as me. So I actually went before her. I felt a bit bad because she'd been there a day more than I had, but she ended up going the same night as me. So I was really glad, obviously, that worked out for her, because I felt awful because I was like, I feel really bad like going in before her because I've been here a whole day less, even though I've been there for a day and a bit. It feels like years when you're in there. At 7:12, I had my waters broken. So I've gone round to the delivery suite. Obviously they do handover about 8 p.m. So it was like 6:30, 7. We was very close to handover. So I really liked my midwife. She was an absolute gem. The student midwife was an absolute gem as well. Got on the bed. They monitored me for like 20, 30 minutes probably. And you could see like the contractions going up and down. She was like, can you feel those? And I was like, yeah, I can. I mean, barely, like they weren't strong or whatever, but I can feel them and I can see them. And I find it so fascinating watching your contractions on the chart. So fascinating. So yeah, they left me to it and then they came back in and went to break my water. So they gave me gas and air, didn't use it, absolute champ. I started crying because I think at that point I was just a bit like, oh my God, like I'm starting this whole process. Like it is a bit mental. I wasn't scared to give birth. I genuinely was just, I think a bit like, whoa, you know, like a bit, you don't know how anything's gonna go. It's all a bit uncertain. So yeah, I was just a little bit emotional and I had the student was holding my hand, what an absolute gem, and my mum and my dad near me, sitting down, like just kind of being there, like watching what's happening. So she breaks my waters, didn't feel a fucking thing. Genuinely did not feel a thing, didn't even hear it, didn't feel it, nothing. And then she said, now you've got to go on a 2-hour walk. And I thought, 2-hour walk around the hospital. Luckily it was obviously about, by the time we'd gone on the walk, it was about quarter to 8. So by the time we started going on the walk, because I think I went toilet and then, yeah, we went on the walk. And where it was in the evening, I was really lucky because obviously there wasn't loads of people about. If I had to do that in the day, God forbid. So from the start of the walk, I obviously must have been about, 2 centimetres, maximum 2.5 to 3 maybe, because I'd gone on the walk and the start of it, obviously I was having pains, but they were like, I could walk through them, I could talk through them. If I like laughed or like did something, they were like a bit more painful, but they were for the most part literally just kind of there in the background sort of thing. And then I want to say like even half an hour, 45 minutes into the walk, it was getting brutal. By the time I'd gotten to 2 hours, oh my God, I don't know if I made it to 2 hours because apparently I got back at 9:52. So I did do 2 hours of it, but oh my God, by the time I'd gotten back, I couldn't walk through them, couldn't talk through them. I was crying through them. They were nasty. So the walk definitely helped. Breaking the waters obviously helped because of like gravity and stuff. It was it went quite quick. Like I thought, oh God, you know, oh God. So I got back at 9:52. They said they would leave me for about an hour before checking me. It ended up being 2 hours because I think they came back, they checked, I want to say she gave me some pain relief. Yeah, at that point she'd given me pain relief, and I thought, why the fuck are you giving me pain relief? Because they gave me paracetamol. They gave me paracetamol because I felt quite sick until this point. She gave me these tiny painkillers and paracetamol, and it got rid of the sickness. So I'm really grateful for that, but it didn't get rid of the pain, obviously. Paracetamol's not gonna fucking touch the sides of labour, is it? I laboured on my own for 2 hours after the walk. It was bad, and this is not to put you off. Like, when you're in the moment, you're just getting through it. Like, it all goes so quick, and you're just like, I don't know, you're just going through it. Like, this is not to scare you whatsoever. I would do it all over again. God forbid, not yet. But I was in a lot of pain by that point. And then she finally come and checked me. 11:52, I was 4 centimeters dilated. So that was the point I would have obviously been classed as in active labor. I felt like it. So I was really grateful at that point that I was actually 4 centimeters. I mean, to be fair, I kind of hoped I was like 5, 6, but by that point I was like, I'm grateful that I've progressed, because it was so slow, obviously, getting to 2 centimeters. It obviously must have taken weeks. So when I finally got to 4, I was like, okay, good, because my first midwife that broke my water, she said the hardest part is getting from 1 to 5. After that, it will go quicker and easier, and not easier in terms of like, it is hard, but it's I think it's a bit smoother in terms of like the progression. Now, I wanted to move to the birthplace. The birthplace is the midwife-led unit. It's a bit more zen, it's got a pole, it's a bit more just relaxed, chill vibe. I just wanted that, you know. I wanted to be relaxed and chilled. I didn't want to be in the delivery suite. I didn't mind, I was very go with the flow, but I just wanted to be in the midwife-led unit. It was a bit more like cutesy, you know. So 12:45, we move over to the birthplace. Obviously at this point I was in pain. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, I started using the gas and air. When I don't know if it was when I got checked, and then was 4 centimeters. It might have been. I'm not sure. No, it must have been before then. I used gas and air. I don't know when I started using it. I have no idea. I want to say it might be when I just come back from the walk. I started using gas and air, and my God, was it beautiful to start off with as well. Once you get like further on in labour, it's like different. But at the beginning, it's more effective because like you're not as in pain as you are in the end. So you feel that like woo effect a bit more. Whereas at the end, I did not feel that woo effect. I felt more just like it was just getting me through it somehow. I was 4 centimeters at midnight-ish. Noted, okay? Note that. 12 a.m, 4 centimeters. 12:45, I move over to the birthplace. They hadn't filled up the fucking pool, so I had to wait for the pool to be filled up. It was quite intense. So we're just kind of there. I don't even know what I was doing. I have no idea. I really, like, it's such a blur. Like, I can't remember the exact order of events, because at 1:30, I was fully dilated. Fully dilated. Now, bear in mind, an hour and a half before, I was 4 centimeters. Fully dilated. Because basically, you've got a pole and then you've got this bed thing. I remember I was laying on this, like, it wasn't a bed, but it was something, like this massive foam thing. I don't know what it is, but I was laying on it and I went, he's coming out. I just said to them, he is coming out. No one could really comprehend it, because I remember I said about how I felt like his head, someone checked me. I'm pretty sure it was my main midwife, Livia. She was great. Livia was absolutely incredible. And yeah, I looked around and they all just kind of looked at each other a bit concerned, because I think they were just a bit shocked at like how quick, because it was my first baby. The fact that I went from 4 to 10 in an hour and a half was obviously mental, and that's why I was in so much pain. So again, don't be like super scared that like it's going to be like the worst pain of your life, because you expect it to be painful, but mine was so painful because it was so quick. So now I'm scared to have another, because if that went any quicker, I don't think I would get there to the hospital in time next time. Oh my God. Yeah. So at 2:10, so 40 minutes later, I'd like started trying to push, but basically my body kept like rejecting it. Every time I tried to push, I felt like I would try for like 3 seconds and then it would like suck it. I don't know if it would suck it back in, but like, it's like my body would just stop. Like it would try and help me and then it would just stop, and I just couldn't get through that like breakthrough. So at 2:10 we went back on the delivery ward because some point between being fully dilated and 2:10 I'd been in the pool and she was trying to get his heart rate and she couldn't find it, got out, couldn't find it. So, or like she couldn't find it, either couldn't find it or he kept decelerating, like he kept having decels. So we went back over to the delivery suite, ran to the delivery suite. When I tell you, it was like a film. It was so funny. Sorry, I keep moving my hands. It was like a film. It was so funny. Like they put a gown on me, and I mean legged it because I wanted the gas in there. So they waited till I finished a contraction. Literally, zoom, ran, like just ran. Okay, just ran around back to the delivery suite because they couldn't go around the back. They had to go around the main bit. So they had to go through the corridor, into the main corridor, back through to the other delivery suite. Yeah, crazy. I can't remember why they said they do that. There's a reason for it, but I can't remember why they don't go through the back bit. Oh, apparently I think they said because of like other women being there, and obviously if I'm like screaming my head off, there's babies and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, we're back. Got on to like, they put that clip, screw, whatever you want to call it, in his head, which I really didn't want before labour, but and when you're in labour, like you just do what you've got to do. Like when they say, can we do this? Like you just kind of accept it. And that wasn't me being manipulated by any sorts of like gaslit or like pressured. I genuinely was like, just do what you need to do. It got me into like this position where, of course I was on my back, but I was on my back, and because the pressure was so bad in my bum and like my back, oh my God, sitting, full stop, because till this point I was not sitting at any point. If I was ever sitting, I was sat like one half of my bum was on a seat, the other half was off because I just couldn't handle the pressure. I was like, when I was doing that walk around the hospital, I was like leaning on something. That's a lot better than sitting. Sitting during labour, not my thing, at least not that time. Because I had it in my back as well. I had like back labour in the front, everywhere. It was just horrible. It makes you so queasy. Anyway, yeah. So obviously, as soon as we got back, I kind of was like, again, starting to push again. So I was like on my back, but like up, not upright, but like fairly up. They pulled my legs and knees towards me, which it was just so uncomfortable. Like every time I didn't have a contraction, I was just like laying there like relaxed. At the end, I mean, I was in pain. I was definitely in pain, but it was so different. Like the pushing kind of relieves the contraction. Like him coming out, obviously that felt quite scary, but like like instead of getting like intense contraction pain, it was more just like intense pressure and like feeling him starting to come out. 2:54 he was born, so it took me 45 minutes to push him out. But the thing is, 20 to 30 minutes of that pushing at least was like shocking. Like I wasn't doing it right and I wasn't doing it hard enough. But they did an in and out catheter, so they emptied my bladder. I think that helped. They did an injection to numb me. They did gel to numb me, both of which did absolutely nothing. Although, actually, I will say, she injected me. I will say that might have done something with the stitches after, because there was something after where there was one side that wasn't numbed or something, or there was one area that wasn't numbed, and I did notice a difference. So while pushing, didn't notice, but after I did notice a little bit of a difference. I had my midwife, I had the student, and then I had, I think her name was Gemma or Jenna. I want to say Jenna, one of which, and she was another one. I don't know what her role was, but I think she was the one that was doing the injections and the gels, and I don't know if she was just a bit more in the know, because like I said, his heart rate kept dipping. I think that's why they were like a little bit concerned, and I think they were like close to intervening. Like they said, we've only got like 15 minutes to get him out or something, I'm not sure, but there was like just this one contraction that was like a massive breakthrough right towards the end, and I literally had like pushed him out in pretty much like 1 or 2 contractions. It was like crazy. It's just like once you really, really get it, you get it. Like you just have to keep going. And then he was out. at 2:54. So yeah, and then he was plonked on me. Pretty much straight away he was opening his eyes. Like, they made a comment, oh, he's opened his eyes, so I knew that like he was okay. He hadn't cried by that point. Like, it took him probably like 10-15 seconds to cry, and he barely cried. He was so chill. He did have like a couple little things here and there, but like they redid his bloods, and then he ended up being fine in the end. But he was put on like the table to like do some little tests and stuff after a while. But I had him on me for a good while. I had him on me for a while. With the placenta, they took that out literally right away. I think I pushed him out and they were like, can we inject you with this thing? And I was like, sure, whatever. I will ask my midwife about that, because I don't know if it was because of something during labour that they did that so quickly. Honestly, I'm not that fussed. I'm not the type of person that like was like massively fussed on like the cord or like saving my placenta. So I was like, you know what, do what you need to do. So they injected me and then they pulled it out, and I felt pretty much absolutely nothing. That was probably the nicest part about labour, was the placenta coming out and my waters being broken, both of which were absolutely painless. Getting checked for me was absolutely painless as well. Stitches, however, that was nasty. I had a 2nd degree, so it went into my muscle. The girl stung. It stung to go toilet. Also, there's like a weird criteria that you have to go for a wee, and it has to be like 400 millilitres. It's really strange. Anyway, I went way over like the 6-hour limit and they still let me off, because I was like, I'm not doing a catheter. They try and get you to do a catheter if you don't produce enough. I thought, oh my God, it's been 6 hours. Let my bladder have some time. See, gas and air is pain relief, but can we really say that that's pain relief? It's the same as using a fucking comb. Or a TENS, a TENS machine might be actually more towards pain relief, but my dad was also like putting pressure on the bottom of my back, like, and I mean like all of his weight. And that man is strong, so he was putting all of his weight onto my back. That helps if you have pain in your back. Get someone to just like be like that and just pressure, because that was the only relief I got, because obviously you can't really do anything about the front. I didn't get to eat my KFC. I had corn on the cob though. I had a corn on the cob, and then I stopped because it made me feel a bit like, ugh. So that was the last. I actually ate that whilst in early labour, so that's lovely. So all in all, active labour was, what, 3 hours, because it's an hour and a half, then an hour and a half to pushing. I don't know how it works. I just can't really remember like the turn of events. Like, I can't remember what happened in what order really, apart from like the main milestones. So yeah, he was born on the Friday at 3 a.m. at 41 plus 6. But again, like I said, if I'd let my body do its thing, I probably was still giving birth probably later that day, if anything, because obviously my waters broke, and I can't say when my waters would have broken if they didn't do that. I can't believe I've gone through that, and it's now been 2 weeks since giving birth. I'm actually like, I'm amazed I did it. Like, when I was pushing, I was constantly saying like, just please help me, like do something to help me get him out. And they were so, can I just say, my midwives, I'm so grateful for every midwife I've had. My community midwife that I'm about to be discharged from, and all the midwives that I had in the hospital, all the people that helped me postpartum in the hospital. Absolutely incredible. The students, oh my God, like, I was so fine with students being there. I had students there at every single point of my labour. Every single point. Every point. I had students when they were doing my OBS, when I was being induced, like not being induced, but waiting to get induced. I had a student hold my hand whilst my waters were broken. I had a student hold my hand whilst I was in labour. I had a student help me collect colostrum straight after birth. I had a student actually help take the baby out of me, because my dad, my lovely dad, recorded him coming out of me. And I mean, yeah, him coming out of me. So I have a video of that. it's just crazy. And I, like, the students were honestly some of the best people I had. Love my midwives as well, but the student midwives were incredible. My mum was very supportive. My dad was very like supportive, especially in the sense of like the pressure on my back. I was definitely in a massive state of shock for the first day. It wasn't until that night that I really started bonding with him. That whole first day, it was very much like, woo, like he was with me, I was looking after him, like completely normal, but mentally I was very like out of it and a bit spaced out, definitely. And it took me a while to like kind of come around to the fact that like I've had a baby, I've given birth, I'm now a mum. It was all a bit of a woozy, but yeah, motherhood is incredible, absolutely incredible. I love being a mum. I love being his mum. I love him so much. And I have got a postpartum vlog that I'm currently editing, so that'll probably go up after this. I kind of want to put this out first and then get that postpartum one up. But yeah, just incredible what a body can do. The fact that I grew him for 9 months and then birthed him, crazy. Yeah, I've not gotten much sleep in the last 2 weeks, maybe a day, day and a half's worth. Getting about 2 hours a night with the occasional 3, 4, 5 hours. Like, I've had 2 nights where I've been able to sleep between his feeds, but apart from that, I've not been able to. So it is just wonderful. It is, oh, the sleep. It's just the sleep, the sleep, the sleep, the sleep. The sleep is just out of this world. Like, oh. That was my birth story. So I really hope you enjoyed. And I will see you all in the next one.